Marvel fans, it is confirmed. Gambit lives. Do you remember how recently we made the video about how there is something everybody missed in the post-credit scene of Deadpool and Wolverine, where on a monitor within the TVA, you can actually see Gambit being saved after he survived the battle in the void? Well, Ryan Reynolds himself posted an HD version of this scene, and you can very clearly see what is happening here. And because Reynolds posted it with the caption Marvel Sparkly Circle, that is obviously what's important in this clip. Within the eyes of Gambit, you can see the Marvel Sparkle Circle actually reflected. And this is freaking cool, dude. Like, this has definitely made news. Even the Hollywood trades are getting in on this, breaking this down, explaining what's going on to people. And basically, this is Ryan Reynolds' continuing campaign to secure more movies or more things within Marvel for his co-stars of Deadpool and Wolverine. So I want to talk about that. However, there's also a really important question I think most people are missing here, and that would be who actually saves Gambit here, because if it was the TVA, it would just be a TVA portal. And the sling ring itself that had the 2 Infinity Stones on it, that was used by Cassandra Nova, but she dies. So I think the question of like who actually saved Gambit here is pretty important. So I want to talk about who saved him, because I think that's really cool. But first, let's talk about this ongoing campaign of Ryan Reynolds to get his co-stars of Deadpool and Wolverine more movie stuff. Talked about this in the last video, but Reynolds has been putting out a lot of nice messages about the cast and the legacy. He's focused specifically on Wesley Snipes as Blade and Channing Tatum as Gambit. And in fact, it's gotten to the point where there are actual insiders out there speculating that with all the delays happening to Mahershala Ali's Blade, maybe you could see Wesley Snipes step into the role and Marvel just go in a completely new direction with the character, which I don't necessarily think would be a mistake given how popular Wesley Snipes' Blade is. Like, dude, it was awesome seeing him come back, and I think I was surprised. I think maybe many of you were surprised. Maybe even Ryan Reynolds was surprised at the reaction that was given to Wesley Snipes' Blade. It got the biggest pop in my theater when I saw that. And I just think in general, Wesley Snipes is freaking cool, dude. A lot of people were happy to see him back in the role. However, I don't actually think Marvel is going to pivot away from Mahershala Ali. And there have even been some reports recently from some insiders suggesting that directors and potentially other creatives that we thought were off of the Mahershala Ali Blade movie are now back on it. But this conversation is happening. I mean, I even saw an article in The Direct that just directly addresses this question. Wesley Snipes or Mahershala Ali? What direction is best for Blade for Marvel Studios? And I will say this is a weird but special time for Marvel Studios right now. They have this crazy multiversal bananas event, wild shit happening with Doomsday and Secret Wars. And so it really feels like certain stories, certain character arcs are going to have to wait until after Secret Wars to then happen in the soft rebooted MCU. Is Blade and Mahershala Ali's Blade one of those movies? Will it just be delayed and then happen after the soft reboot? And if that is the case, does that not open up the door for Wesley Snipes to be the Blade of this next couple of years leading up to Secret Wars? Maybe that is what we're really talking about right now. And maybe that is why Ryan Reynolds is campaigning so hard for these characters, because now having a sort of peek behind the curtain and knowing certain things like the secret about Thor crying with Deadpool potentially on Battle World, maybe that's the whole thing that's motivating Reynolds to get out here and campaign for his homies, because there is a serious opportunity right now within the next couple of years to do justice to these characters, give us more of them, and then have them make a proper send-off in Secret Wars to allow then a new soft rebooted version of the MCU with new characters like Mahershala Ali's Blade. But I will also say that this is a really uncertain time. I mean, there are stories now suggesting that Hugh Jackman will not only be Wolverine in the next couple of years leading up to Secret Wars, but he's going to be Wolverine in the soft rebooted MCU. Apparently, Hugh Jackman literally wants to do this till he's 90. So maybe there's way more at stake than we are thinking right now. Maybe it's not just the next couple of years. Maybe we're talking about the next 10, 15 years of being a massive character in the biggest franchise on the planet. Now, when it comes to Gambit, I love Channing Tatum's Gambit. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of want a different version of Gambit in the soft rebooted MCU, but I would not mind at all. More of Channing Tatum Gambit. I think maybe now is the time to do that. Do him throughout Secret Wars, Multiversal stuff. And as I've said before, I think Exiles might just be the perfect thing for this whole Resistance crew that was in Deadpool and Wolverine. So that's what I would do. And I think Reynolds is doing a good job of hyping this thing up. This post-credit scene is absolutely badass. It does show the ring. It shows Gambit surviving the fight in the void. Kind of perfectly sets up more with Gambit, which is dope. And I want it. I mean, he really did make a name for himself. But now let's talk about what's the freaking deal with this circle. Anyways, again, it can't be Cassandra Nova. She's dead by the time this fight is over. It can't be Deadpool or Wolverine. They don't have the power to utilize a sling ring, even though it has Infinity Stones on it. I think we're meant to believe that Cassandra Nova is just so epically powerful and has some crazy telekinetic, really insane mind abilities, which might allow her to use Infinity Stones, kind of in the way that Ronan the Accuser is just so powerful he can use the Power Stone in his weapon. I think that's basically what you have going on with Cassandra Nova. And I do believe that Deadpool and Wolverine would be able to survive holding an Infinity Stone, but I don't think they have the power to actually control an Infinity Stone. So I think the most obvious pick here would be that this is Doctor Strange actually opening up a portal to get Gambit. Now, that does not necessarily mean it is our version of Stephen Strange, although it very well could be, as there are rumors that Stephen Strange and Clea are going to form the Black Order, and they will have these beings known as the Black Priests that sort of work for them as they go throughout the multiverse, destroying Earths to stop incursions. At least that is a pre-established rumor for Doctor Strange 3 and what Marvel is going to do to tie that into Secret Wars. So it could be our Stephen Strange with a sling ring that has access to the multiverse via either, you know, Infinity Stones or just power from the dark dimension. But it could also just be a different variant of Stephen Strange. We know Stephen Strange variants are out there causing mischief, dream walking, and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. They're a big threat to the multiverse. And there is also an outside chance that that portal is opened by RDJ Doctor Doom, because we know Doctor Doom is coming, and Doctor Doom is very good at magic. And if anybody in the multiverse could use Infinity Stones with a sling ring, it would be Doctor Doom. Basically, I don't think it's the TVA. If it was the TVA, it would just be a TVA-shaped portal, but it's not. It's the sling ring portal. So it's got to be a sorcerer, probably Stephen Strange or Doctor Doom. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash a like on it. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video.